And we are back from that heavy subject to an even heavier subject. Let's put it that way.
So we're going from racist to death.
Wonderful.
What a great episode.
Now, obviously, the big story now is
Parka.
The death of La Parka.
Rest in peace, good sir.
Yes. So before we get into it, a lot of people need clarification about this incarnation of La Parka because this gimmick has gone through probably the worst shit I've ever seen.
This is the second incarnation of La Parka.
So this is basically the situation.
This is part 2.
The original La Parka,
OG.
who is right now L.A. Park. Yes, that is the original La Parka. He signed an exclusive deal as La Parka with WCW. But he did not own that name. Antonio Peñas, who opened AAA, was the person who owned the trademark and everything to La Parka.
Okay.
So he gave it to the gentleman who just passed away. His name is Jesus. That was the man who passed away.
I guess
yes.
mind.
Wow, okay. Now, there was a Triple Mania main event, which between the two Parkas for the name of La Parka.
How long ago was that?
That was, I believe, in 2013. I could be really wrong about that.
Oh, here he is. He's going to his iPad.
I know, I'm a hip.
Fuck.
I know, I'm a hypocrite. You can suck my dick.
You can call, well, his first name is Hippo. You can call him Hippo Crit. My name is Mr. Crit. Mr. Hippo Crit.
So, yes, he signed an exclusive deal with WCW at the time.
Uh-huh.
And basically what happened was they had this match at Triple... It wasn't Triple Mania. I just can't remember which number. Oh, heaven forbid. I forget the number of the Parks.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. So,
or Jesus Cristo.
I love you, but I hate you. So this happened in 2010.
Uh-huh.
June 6th, 2010. It was Triple Mania 18. La Parka versus La Parka. Now, the Parka now goes by L.A. Park because L.A. stand for
Los
Oresia,
Angeles?
No, La Oresia Park, which is the authentic park.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, total dig. I love it. So he passed. So the one who replaced him passed away due to complications from a very scary, severe injury that happened during not even a AAA event. It was like it was called Coreñon, I believe. I'm butchering that, but it's called Coreñon. Let's do it that way.
Okay.
He took a suicide dive. He landed on the concrete floor. No padding, by the way, on the outside of the ring. This in Mexico, by the way. Head first to the ground.
Well known for their safety features.
Oh yeah, no, we bitch about that during Triple Mania. Landed head first, paralyzed immediately. He had surgery to save his life because there was no way he was gonna walk again. They saved his life. He was in a coma for a very long time, and he passed away due to the complications because his lungs and heart could not keep up with it.
Right.
And that happened in October of last year as well.
And so he just died. So
Yes.
3 months of a coma.
Yes.
And now he's dead.
Now, with this light going on, we are going to talk about other competitors who have passed away during in-ring action of some kind.
So we're talking about... Now, you have a couple of examples that we can go through, but what we really want to focus on too is ways in which these types of injuries can be prevented.
But let's talk about other examples and kind of determine from there. The first one that I thought about was Brian Ong.
Okay.
Who this was in the 1990s.
Was this the guy that died at 619?
No.
Oh.
That was Perry Aguayo Jr., which is what I'm going to get to next.
Okay.
So Brian Ong was facing the Great Khali at the time.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yes, so he took a flapjack and died immediately.
This was in India, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This was an Indian show, and he was cleared by the staff, despite him saying, I have a headache, I don't feel well. He was like puking and everything like right before the match itself.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He died of a brain aneurysm.
Oh, gee.
And died immediately. He did not feel any pain, which is at least a positive in that end. But he was super young. He was in his in his 30s.
Yeah.
There is Perry Aguayo Jr., who died of a cervical trauma. He was basically inwardly decapitated with a dropkick by Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
Now, that was a freak accident.
Yes.
He was cleared to wrestle. Conan, who was running the promotion at the time, knew about this, and that was online everywhere. You can find it if you can watch it. I was in college at the time. I was actually doing a show. Oh, God, who was I in a show with? I can't remember. But it was a pretty big podcast. We were doing a live commentary on it, and we were like, oh, something is very wrong.
Right.
There is Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, very famous example.
Who fell from the rafters, heart and head, hit the turnbuckle, and flew backwards.
Right.
I'm 100% sure WWE has the footage. I guarantee you they have the footage.
Oh, yeah, they have the footage, but they're not going to release it.
There are 3 pieces of WWE footage in the archives that have 3 sentences on there. Do not watch, do not duplicate, do not destroy. One of them is Darren Drozdov's injury where he became a quadriplegic. The second one, oh God, I can't remember. It was another death. It was insane. And then the third one was the death of Owen Hart, as speculation. But Darren Drozdov has confirmed that one of those tapes was because of his injury.
Right.
Because way back in the day, they had the Do Not Try This at Home, where they actually had footage of the referees and EMTs picking up. Do you remember this? Picking up a stretcher.
Oh, yeah.
That was the injury of Darren Drozdov.
Oh, really?
Yep. That was the injury of Darren Drozdov. And he did confirm that was him. Now, luckily, he did not die. He was close, but he did not die. And now he's actually getting he actually can move his arms like up to his elbows.
Oh, that's good.
Which is really good. Oh, absolutely.
Well, for a guy who said, well, I mean, obviously,
he was a quadriplegic.
It's relative, but
he was paralyzed from like the top of his neck down. It was insane.
So, I think the first thing we can extract from these things is please don't try this shit at home.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, if the professionals can become quadriplegics, then certainly you can.
Oh, absolutely. There is, oh God, what's his name? The guy who did Emerald Flosion. I'm going to butcher his name.
Here he goes back to
this
fucking iPad.
No, this. You know what? You can go fuck yourself up a tree. So
I might just do that. There we go.
Peanut gallery just finished in my room. Great.
There was a tree in here.
Really?
Yeah, because you never clean it.
Okay. Even though I cleaned it this weekend. So, very famous Japanese wrestler. I don't know why I totally lost his name. Hang on. I'm struggling here because I can't find his fucking name.
Of course.
Misawa, that's his name. So, Misawa, very famous.
Yeah.
Huge wrestler. He left New Japan. He started, I think he started All Japan Pro Wrestling as well.
Oh, really?
Yep. And he took a belly-to-belly suplex and was inwardly decapitated. He died immediately. Well, no, he didn't die immediately. He lost feeling immediately, and then he died. He died of a heart attack because of the injury. So, but he wrestled for way longer than he should have.
Right.
And the style then was so much different than it is now. He died in 1995.
Right.
So, those are only the most famous examples of wrestlers who have died during in-ring action. And it's tragic.
Yeah.
To this day, this happens. The NFL has one recorded death in their entire history
as a result of on-field injuries.
Oh no, they did. Yes, in immediate, because you can say, oh, online injuries, that means Ultimate Warrior, Chris Benoit, blah blah.
Right.
No, literally,
in field, in ring, in action death, just gone.
Right. Obviously, the thing with La Parka happened a lot sooner, but it was directed towards this moment.
Right, like he was in a coma after that match.
Right.
And he never woke up from it.
Right. And it's tragic. It's very tragic where this is why professional wrestling is... I think, honestly, a lot of people hate professional wrestling because of this reason.
Right.
Because even though it is a choreographed event, people say, oh, it's fake. Oh, okay. Well, why don't you ask...
Why don't you ask, like, Parka if it's fake?
Right. He took a suicide dive.
Yeah. He was performing a spot that people do on a weekly basis.
We see Seth Rollins do 10 of them during his match.
Right.
And La Parka did it. He was wrestling against Roosh, actually.
Yeah.
And, paralyzed.
Yeah.
Paralyzed immediately.
And then he never recovered. He's gone. That's it.
I think that is why it's hard to get away from this business, because in the back of your head, you know the dangers that these people do.
Right.
And with the new style, a lot of the whole doctor scene is a lot stricter now than it was back in the day. Depending on who you talk to, obviously.
Right.
Ring of Honor. Assholes. So, there's that. I know, I'm being an asshole.
I know.
Whatever, fuck you, Ring of Honor. You can go die of AIDS. So, okay. You see, we're really bad here, Tessa Blanchard. I think, hey, she should be a third person on this show.
Oh my God.
Let's be racist towards everybody.
Sure. So
actually, that'd be fantastic. I'd love her on it.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I don't think so.
We couldn't pay her enough.
I'll give her a 50-cent nickel and maybe a slave. Anyway,
we'll give her a screw. We'll give her a 5-cent screw.
Yes. Which is you. So anyway, all jokes aside, this is a very serious topic, and we need to figure out a resolution for this. And I had this topic for last week, and I was thinking about it, like really contemplating on how can you, as a promoter, avoid these. The one thing is, now WWE is great at this.
Yeah.
Is listen to your fucking doctors. And this is not just for promoters, but this is for wrestlers. If you, as a competitor, go to a doctor because your brain hurts and they say, you have a concussion, we don't want you to wrestle again, don't get in the ring. Right. Now, Bret Hart, let's put him for instance. He was told he had a concussion, stay out of the ring for a while. A year, whatever. Right. But he was in the ring like 3 months after. Right. Okay, well, that was his fault. Right. And then the whole Goldberg kick did not help. But no, that was like the callus injury, and people blame Goldberg. No, he was told by the doctors to stay out of the ring for a while. Right. I solely blame him. Right. The same thing with like Brian Pillman, Chris Benoit. When the doctor says you have a concussion, don't get in the ring for a while, listen to them. Right. Do not do that. And WWE will literally, they have on-site doctors who are world-class
They have
trained.
doctors that they have full-time doctors that work for them.
Right, which takes out the guesswork. But when you're an independent contractor, when you're an independent wrestler, you do not have the luxury. You go to the doctor when you don't feel right and say, what is wrong with me? They have the scans that say, oh, you have a concussion. Right. Don't wrestle for 8 months. You know what you do? You don't get in the ring 2 weeks later. You stay out of the ring.
And see, this is one of my big pushes for why wrestlers should be a union is because when you have enough wrestlers that come together, you get good health insurance. And when you get good health insurance, you can require wrestlers under that union to go to the doctor. Right. More than like once a year or whatever. So like obviously you have to go to the doctor. These doctors are approved and you have to get clearance.
Right. And these kinds of things, obviously at the end of the day, you never know what's going to happen in the ring. The whole thing with La Parka was a freak accident. Yes. And it happens all the time.
Unfortunately.
Edge, he had his very bad neck injury, but he listened to his doctor, and now he has 2 kids, a wife, and maybe a possible return with new technology. Right. Daniel Bryan was told to retire because of his concussions. he had the hyperbolic chamber where it replenishes your mind to where you can come back. These people are great examples of what technology can do for you now, but at the end of the day, listen to a doctor.
Right.
You know,
and see, the other thing too that I see is that a lot of these wrestlers that do come back from injury way too soon, they're those people that don't have guaranteed contracts. They're the people that rely on wrestling to get an income, and so they will forego their mental health because they want to get their paycheck.
Right.
And again, that is why I think that wrestlers should be properly insured, so that if they need to take a year off, the promoter is like, take a year off and don't worry about it.
AEW has started that, where if any person gets injured in their own ring, they're going to take care of that.
That's what WWE's been doing for years, though. WWE's
didn't?
Yeah.
I haven't known.
That's in their contracts.
Well, yeah, in some people's contracts, but you're saying the same thing. It's like,
no, it's in all their contracts now.
oh, really?
After,
now it is.
After Benoit, yeah, it's in all their contracts.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
great.
No, they have their own. They have their own doctor. They have their own wellness screening, and they are required to do that. But extend that to the entire industry. The entire industry should have something like that, where if you are a professional wrestler and you need to stay out of the ring for a year because you have these injuries that are piling up, someone's going to pay for it, like, pension or workers' comp or whatever, is going to pay for your salary, and then the promoters will know to blacklist you and say, you cannot wrestle for a year. I'm sorry, I cannot schedule you for any event.
Now, if you want to do like signings or whatever,
right, non-professional, non-wrestling events.
Now, you see, at this point in time, I think it's actually a lot easier for a union to not happen for that reason, where if you're savvy enough, you can sell shirts, you can do autograph signings, you can do whatever you want.
But I'm talking the union for the sake of wrestlers' health.
Right, but like I'm just saying, it's like, okay, well, how are they going to make an income? There are a lot better ways nowadays to make an income.
Right, exactly.
It's a lot easier.
Right.
Because you can, if you're like a good enough wrestler.
Right.
Or if you get a good enough following, it's like, hey, I have a, there's Patreon, there's GoFundMe, there's crowdfunding where people will pour money into you and say, hey, if I can at least get, $100,000,
right,
I can live easy, or I can live without working for a year, as you say, because I have to recover from this concussion, do physical therapy, make sure all my bills are covered, and that's why I think a union is necessary, to give wrestlers an opportunity to at least make enough to get by. Right, but at the same time, it's like NWA, WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. They're all different. They're all different companies within of themselves. Now, they tried to do this with Jesse Ventura, and they got close on having a wrestlers union, until Hulk Hogan blabbed about it.
Right.
Now, that was actually recorded, and Hulk Hogan has claimed that was really a good idea. But at the same time, it's happened before, but that was a much different era than what it was, because really the toast of the town was WWF.
Right. But see, the thing is that, the best way, I think, to protect wrestlers is to protect them from themselves and their own bad decisions, and to protect them from promoters who want to put them in dangerous situations when it's not called for.
Right.
And yes, freak accidents can and will always happen. There is no way to prevent that.
When you're doing a competitive sport like that, hell, it happens in Cirque du Soleil. So
you can. WWE has a lot of great padding, has a lot of these standards in place, which I think that you cannot surround a professional wrestling ring with like one pad.
Right.
And with guardrails like that. You need to have a little more protection than that. That's
you're talking about physical. What about concussions are going to happen no matter what, especially in a sport like that.
You need to have wrestlers who know what they're doing. You need to have people who are skilled enough, not only with themselves, but with one another.
Now, this is going
where the spots are going to be safe, but there's so many semantics that go into it. It's almost impossible.
This is going to avoid a lot of the injuries like a La Parka, like a Perry Aguayo Jr., like a Brian Ong, and, in a very minute way, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. There are a lot of people who have lived even past that and say something like a wrestlers union would have been good. Now, WWE is a trendsetter in that because they do one of the biggest things that anybody can do, and that is the wellness policy.
Yes.
Where no matter who you are, no matter how much you've wrestled in WWE, they're going to pay for your 90-day recovery. And
they're going to require you to go to a doctor every so many number of months and get a wellness check.
This is not to disparage you. This is to protect you because you don't want another La Parka to happen.
You don't want a Chris Benoit to happen. We want to avoid the problems before they happen, and that is the key. You want to avoid the problems. Now, with wrestlers who are older, I understand that wrestlers, they don't make a lot of money. And again, if a union comes about, they can potentially build a pension program for retired professional wrestlers. But see, the thing is that they can still work. They can still do things like autograph signings and whatever. So they don't need to wrestle. And the problem, I think, too, is that a lot of people who get injured more are older.
It's so much easier now for something called branding.
Right.
And, the Rock and Roll Express were trendsetters in that. The Fabulous Freebirds, same thing. A Fabulous Freebird like Michael P.S. Hayes or whatever can go to an autograph signing, and that's going to sell out that building.
Yeah.
And, it's all about that branding. And nowadays, it's so much easier to brand yourself as somebody who can do that. And now a lot of people understand that and take advantage of that. Look at Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis can go to an autograph signing when he's retired for 10 years and still sell himself.
John Cena can, and you don't even
John Cena's a much different story.
You don't even have to be a wrestler anymore. You can go to the movie industry. You can go to anything else.
Right.
You say your mind to. You can start your own yoga program, DDP.
If you get that, DDP Yoga, Trish Stratus did that before him. People open up gyms and make a pretty decent living for themselves. People open up wrestling schools.
But it's all about the branding. It is all about the branding.
And nowadays, with the advent of social media, it's so much easier to wear. Like I said, a union may not be entirely necessary because you can say, hey, I have a brand. I mean, even though I'm injured, I can still go to this place, this place, this place, and be fine.
Right. So we're about 23 minutes into this section. So your final thoughts on what you think can prevent
of pro wrestler deaths. Here are my thoughts. You will never. It's going to happen again, no matter where it is. Either in WWE, because this still could happen, to a spot show in the middle of a mud field in Mississippi. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen again. But you can take preventative measures now and make sure that people have a longer career, where people can wrestle until they're 50, 60, whatever, and they're still okay. And with the evolution of workout regimens where people understand how the body works and how to build muscle and eating right, to supplements, to everything. It's making it easier for people to have a longer, healthier, happier career. But at the end of the day, a freak accident is going to happen no matter what.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you. I think that preventative measures need, not just have to, but they need to be taken. I think wrestlers need to take it to the promoters and say, these things need to happen.
Right.
And you can prevent a lot of not only the minor injuries, but the minor injuries that can develop into major injuries from happening. And again, that's why I'm pro wrestlers union, because I want the measures in place to protect. WWE does a great job. They do a pretty decent job with making this faux union, but I think it needs to extend beyond WWE's borders.
Right.
And I think that wrestlers need to have more power in holding promoters accountable, not only for their own actions, but for the actions of what they're putting the wrestlers through. Because it's the wrestlers at the end of the day who are going to get hurt.
Right.
The promoters are still going to make money.
Right.
But the wrestlers are the ones who are putting their bodies on the line. So
And
I think they need a voice.
I'm more than happy to spend another $10, $15 for a ticket to a wrestling event to have the security to know that these people who are putting...
to promote the union.
Well, not only that, to the fact to where... the promoter is covered if the person who's putting their body on the line for our entertainment is safe.
Yeah.
And secured to where it does not only affect them, but affects their family.
Right. Where you don't go, ooh, that's going to hurt. It's
right.
like, ooh, that's still going to hurt, but...
Where a person becomes paralyzed. Now, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say this. If another thing happens where a wrestler dies, I would rather have it be a freak accident than something that could have been easily avoided.
Right. Easily avoidable.
If it's easily avoidable, I don't want it to happen. I would rather have a death happen by a freak accident than anything else.
Right.
I don't want to see another Chris Benoit happen.
I don't want to see another...
I want to see... I want to... If it had to happen, I would rather see another La Parka
right.
than another Chris Benoit.
Exactly.
So I want to thank everybody for the very last minute change of the lineup. I do apologize if you were looking for the Hard to Kill or whatever. We're going to cover it next week.
Oh my God.
But this,
I'm glad.
This was a fantastic show overall.
Yeah.
A very heavy topic, so if you want a little more fun stuff, let us know, because, I mean, we might do something fun later.
Yeah.
Obviously, become a patron if you want to do a watch party, and obviously, we'll try to avoid what happened with Hard to Kill as much as possible.
Oh my God.
Maybe we'll try to look at Impact Plus to see if they do live shows. If not, then maybe we'll get a sponsorship. So, you know, there was a lot going on with that. So become a patron, because it's like $20 a month for the watch party, where you not only get every single pay-per-view in its entirety, where you're going to watch it with us, but you get MP Throwback, where we cover old wrestling pay-per-views, no matter how old it is.
Joy.
Which is awesome. You get signed merch. You get, to become a part of our Discord, where you can dictate maybe where we're going to go next, a part of a show that doesn't cover a pay-per-view.
Yep.
So a lot of good stuff. So become a patron. There's a link down below in the description, wherever you're watching this. And follow us on social media to get the up-to-date scoop on where we're going, and our snarkiness on Twitter when something happens.
So next week is going to be Hard to Kill, NXT TakeOver.
Yes.
Then the week after will be
Royal Rumble
weekend plus NWA.
Yes, NWA, Worlds Collide, and Royal Rumble. So there's going to be a lot.
Mexican excellence.
Yes.
So,
thank you guys for watching, and as always,
be majestic.